We're back at the line table for our final topic this week. Crime in Albuquerque is on many people's minds, of course. We've talked about crime downtown recently here on the line. Many city residents want to see action to reduce the rate of car thefts, home break-ins, violent crime across the state's largest city, not just downtown. We wanted to check in with our panelists this week about what they've seen and heard lately. Serge, let me start with you. You haven't lived in Albuquerque for a long time, but I appreciate a perspective of folks who are not long-term folks here. Give me your sense of where crime fits in your personal life here. How do you view it?
Well, living in New York, right, where I came from, there were always people around, and there was still plenty of crime.
Right.
Here, I've been surprised at how there's not that many people around, but I still hear about lots of crime. So I'm trying to figure out what is the common denominator, what's causing this here.
Yeah.
It's something that I definitely have heard about from just about everybody I've spoken to. Mm-hmm. It hasn't affected me personally, but the perception, I think, of everybody who I talk to who has been here for a long time and people who are thinking about moving here say, oh, I hear Albuquerque has lots of crime. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Serge? I say Albuquerque's a great place.
Right.
And I think in my perception, it's a bit overblown. That said, it's in the paper every day, and possibly it is a self-perpetuating cycle that it's something that the keeps getting reported on, and then every time it happens, we
That's a fair point.
more.
That's a fair point. Yeah, Diane, how about for you? Where do you sit on crime right now in Albuquerque? Folks are
you for it or against it?
Right. There's efforts going on out there. Is it enough at this point?
It's not enough, and it doesn't seem to be the right thing.
Yeah.
What I find, I live in the near Northeast Heights, and that area is one of the ones escalating in crime, and particularly car theft.
That's right.
And I guess I was looking at the statistics, and that we've grown 177% in car thefts over the last 10 years. I'm sorry, that's not only unreal, but it's unconscionable. And it didn't just happen overnight, I believe.
That's right.
I think we need to, first of all, work together and stop yelling at each other about who's at fault. It's clear, even though we've spent more money in the police department, we don't have enough police officers.
Right.
Period, end of story.
Right.
We don't have enough. And that would be, to me, the first step. You've got to have the police visible in the community.
That's right.
And I used to love, and they don't do it quite as much, the community policing, so that you see people, policemen, out in the street.
You see them downtown on bikes.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
around
They're
or on
gone.
horses,
Yeah.
or I want
right.
to know they're there.
That's right.
And I think everybody does. And we have an aging population. They're terrified. They're absolutely terrified, particularly home invasions.
That's right.
Home
exactly
invasions.
Right.
So.
That's right. You're in the North Valley. You've been there for a lot of years with your husband. North Valley has always been up and down with crime. It's not something that's either new, but what's your sense of it from your vantage point now? Are we getting on top of this?
Well, I've been lucky not to have been a victim. It seems overblown to me for my neighborhood, and the perception is worse than the reality, at least where I live. But when you're a victim, you think it's a really big problem.
Perception changer,
so,
isn't it? Yeah.
what's happening in my neighborhood is that we're kind of trying to get back to community policing. We used to, during the 90s, have neighborhood watches. We used to have policemen that came, women that came to every neighborhood meeting, reported as to what the local crime situation was. We now have an electronic version of that called Nextdoor.
Sure.
And I don't know whether you
RoboCop,
all
is that-
get it, but it's not only to let people know if there's a suspicious truck stopping in front of houses, but it's also to let them know that there's a yard sale and that somebody needs a landscaper. So it's not quite the same, but that's people taking things into their own hands. And when you have I kind of feel like we're reaping the whirlwind of every night on the news, saturation coverage of robberies, crimes, and again, as Diane says, finger pointing. It's the judge's fault. It's the police is understaffed. It's the mayor's fault. It's the legislature's fault. People are getting tired of it, and I do think that we have a possibility that people will start arming themselves, will start taking things into their own kind of vigilante hands, and so we need the next mayor of Albuquerque to address this problem and to instill some confidence, I think, that we are at least moving forward together to address the problem.
Can we, another situation, Dan, do we have to write a check to solve this problem? Meaning, if we want to get to 1,200 or 1,300 officers, someone's going to have to pay for that. And someone's going to have an attractive salary to attract people to come into a difficult place to be a police officer. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the answer for that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely going to have to be a look at our hiring practices.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before, Gene. I've had many people reach out to me that says, "Hey, look, I applied for a job at APS or at APD, and I can't get a job. I spent 6 years in the Army, honorably discharged, special services, 2 tours in Iraq, and for some reason I didn't make the cut." Right. Then you find out, I think that there's going to have to be a change in leadership at many levels. I think that there's a very incestuous relationship in our police department, fire department, where we're hiring cousins and friends and brothers, and people that are more qualified from the outside are not being given an opportunity. I agree kind of with Dee Dee. I don't think crime is overblown. I think we're still fortunate that it's really segmented in Albuquerque and in this area. There's a lot of crime right here, and there's not a lot of crime over there. And so I think the problem is that we are seeing an uptick in property crime, auto crime, violent crime. Right.
Statistics are terrible.
Yeah, and so I think that at the end of the day, there's got to be a conversation, and this mayors before, the next mayor is going to have to work with the community. We cannot isolate pastors and churches and people like that and say, we've got to say, at some point, we got to come together.
That's right. Appreciate that. Serge, you did well for your first time.
Good job, Serge.
Thank you.
Hope to see you again soon. Thank you all. See you next time.